Hey guys, it's HarleyWood. Welcome back. So a few of you have messaged me and asked where the video's been. It's been, I don't know, 3 weeks since I've done a video. And I think the last one was an Olight video. And in that video, I mentioned that my dad had COVID and that things were trending in the right direction. Unfortunately, they did not continue to trend in the right direction. And I lost my dad on December 4th, 2020. It was a hard-fought battle. He was incredibly healthy. Unfortunately, he had asthma, and the asthma coupled with the COVID, which the COVID came with double pneumonia. Then he got a bacterial pneumonia, and then he had a massive stroke. Then his kidneys started to shut down. It just took about 3 weeks to, from the time he was diagnosed until the time that he passed. And there was a lot of ups and downs. In the end, he was basically non-responsive. They were not confident that they could get him off the ventilator, and we had to make a tough call that after the stroke, they weren't getting any responses out of him. And they said that, they did MRIs and all this other stuff, and they said the stroke was quite massive. And it seems like, after the stroke, everything just really, really tanked. Maybe his mind just couldn't tell his body how to fight the disease anymore, and also couldn't tell his kidneys, for example, how to do what they were supposed to do. So we ended up having to, to call the ball, and it was tough. That was not something I hope nobody ever has to go through. He left me and my stepmother. We are basically, the two heirs to everything that was my dad. And, he left me a lot of firearms. He left me his motorcycles, a lot of good things to remember him by. And if, I know I don't know you guys, and you have no vested interest in me. If you want to see, I did the eulogy. If you want to see it, I'll post a link in the description below. You scroll to about the 25-minute, 30-second mark if you want to, skip the beginning of it. And you get to see the eulogy. My dad was in law enforcement for 35 years, worked in a variety of capacities during that time, from burglary teams to undercover narcotics, obviously patrol and SIU unit. And he was a badass, man. I'll roll in a bunch of pictures here at the end and let you see. But he was, I remember growing up and seeing all these pictures in the house of my dad holding up big bags of weed with a knife, and it looked like a Rambo knife with a big bag of weed, and standing in front of a table with hundreds of pounds of cocaine on it, all bricked up. Hundreds of thousands of dollars on these tables. You'll see all these pictures at the end. He was just a badass dude. And but for all the gruff outward appearance, he also would have done anything for anyone. In retirement, he served his community. He mowed people's grass, didn't even tell them, he just knew that they couldn't do it, or that they needed it done, or if somebody was sick, he would just go over to their house, he would mow the grass and take off. He would never charge anybody for anything. He worked on Harleys. He's got all the Harley tools you can imagine. And guys, who were retired would bring him their bikes, and my dad would say, hey, you just buy the parts, and I don't care how long it takes me, I'll fix whatever's wrong. He was just an awesome guy, and there was a tremendous outpouring. My dad had an old 1970 Harley-Davidson FLH that he completely restored. They found it at an estate sale, and it actually wasn't for sale. My dad saw it over in the barn as they were looking through a bunch of other stuff, and he asked the widow if she was interested in selling it. At first she told him no, and she said it was my late husband's. He said, well, what if I restore it in his honor? And she agreed to just give it to my dad. He said, no, I'm gonna pay you whatever we feel the fair market value is. I mean, she offered to give it to him for free, and he paid her for it. And then he did, he restored it. And she said, I just asked that you leave something of my husband on the bike. And it's funny, there's this, I'll have to roll in a picture of it, the Mustang Ranch in Nevada, which is basically a brothel. There was a sticker on the side of the bike, and my dad left that even after he restored it, had everything re-chromed. It's just a cool bike. I rode that in the procession. My dad was also part of the Blue Knights, which is a retired police officer motorcycle club. So I wore his cut during the procession. We were led all through the town by the chief of police, and all of his officers blocked everything off. It was a good service. I'll roll in pictures. I know, again, you guys don't know me. It's just why I haven't been here, and it's going to be rough. I don't know that I'll have videos every week like I have for the next couple weeks because he didn't leave a will. I got a lot of stuff I got to wrangle and figure out. So anyways, for those of you who follow me on Instagram or Facebook, I did post a few little things about it, and you guys have been incredibly kind and supportive, and I really appreciate all that. It really helps. You know, it helps to see that even those of you who I don't know are so nice. We get so many damn trolls in these comments on social media. It's nice to see the rest of you out there. So that's it, guys. Hopefully I'm back on the wagon here pretty soon. I do have a backlog of a lot of things that I owe manufacturers, so I got to hit it hard and heavy and get this content back out for you guys. Appreciate you watching. We'll see you on the next one.